Our students, Brian Proctor, the art teacher, is back again with another video. Yay! And today's video is packed full of knowledge. All right, so today we're going to do a running position, not your standard I'm running away from the fire or the cops position, but the big boy run, like the Juggernaut, the Hulk, the kind of run like I'm going about to bust through this building kind of run. And we've got some what is it? Foreshortening, because one of the students, one of your fellow students asked for some foreshortening as well. So I'm throwing some foreshortening in there as well. And then at the end, I do a little bit on faces so you guys don't do crooked faces. So, all right, let's go to the art table, get your pencil and paper, get you a little drink and some popcorn or something, and let's get to drawing. All right, let's go. All right, art students, welcome back to the drawing table. And if I didn't say it in the intro, I'll say it again. Intro was not made yet, but I'll say it again anyway. About a week back, someone wrote me, one of your fellow art students wrote me and asked me to show how to draw foreshortened characters or draw foreshortening. So I looked it up, the definition of foreshortening or foreshorten, and I like the second one. It gave me two. And the second one is to prematurely or dramatically shorten or reduce something in time or scale. I like that one better, dramatically shorten something. All right, so the basis of shortening or foreshortening or foreshorten is to take something and just make it shorter. Now let me get my reference material here, because somebody asked me a while back, why did I have this other one, which is red, on the table, my table, and I told them I use it for reference for like to do arm bends and arms and legs and so forth. So this is, and let me use this one too, this is my little cone. This is a cylinder. It's a cylinder. At this point, it's a rectangle because it's just flat on both ends. But when you turn it, it's a cylinder. And I have my camera zoomed in really close. So if something gets cropped off, I'm sorry, I just zoomed it in close. You know, so to take this and to make it shorter, that's the whole thing of foreshortening. So like if this was in an arm, you have your bicep and your bicep. You have your forearm and your bicep, tricep, okay? And then you want to foreshorten it. You're just going to, the way you turn it or the way you angle it just makes it shorter. That's all it is. So an easy way to look at it is to put these down, is to just move this and get my drawing paper. Think about drawing a cone, which is this, or the letter A. Everybody can do letters, the letter A, okay, or a cone. Now, if you take this out and you put this at the bottom, you have a triangle, and if you showed it from the bottom up, you're going to have a cone. All right, so that is the basis of foreshortening, and this is also the basis of perspective as well. So this thing, let's just say this was this rectangle, okay? Now you take that rectangle and you tilt it up. Let's grab this again. You take that rectangle and you tilt it up. Sorry, hiccup. It's going to go back in time or space, as the thing say. I'm trying to get it in focus because my monitor is over here instead of in front of me. So I keep looking at the monitor in front of me. So this is going to go all the way back until it becomes nothing, just like, why am I pointing at the monitor? Just like this. So if I took this and I turned it and I went all the way back, like this is a rail pipe or something that's just, 2-mile pipe. It's just going to go like that. And basically that's just this period. That's just this in a smaller version. So once you learn how to draw these things, and I always say, draw your shapes, draw your shapes, draw your shapes, draw your shapes. If you can't think of anything to draw some shapes, draw some shapes. So to do this, all I have to do is cut it off where I want the end of it. So if I'm drawing this, this would be like this. Now, if this was an arm and this was the bicep, tricep, and this was the forearm, it would be foreshortened because I tilted it back in the same way as this one because it's coming to you. So this one is just a little closer. The front one would have been just a little closer to you going, let's just say going down like this. Remember, all it is just drawing that cone. It's going like this. Chop it off right here. I don't want to get to the point. And then I want to add the other part of the arm. And maybe it's going to go back still some more, drawing that cone again. Chop it off right there. And this could be my fist. Right here. Here's my thumb. Here's my fingers. And this could be the back of the, whatever that is, the wrist. And then here is that drawn out. And then here's the bicep right here. The bicep, the delt right here. So that's all foreshortening is. It's just drawing cones or drawing cylinders into cones. Drawing cylinders into cones. Does that make sense? So this is why I keep talking about this book, because every part of the body moves. And these are the shapes that you have to connect to the body. To connect to the body, to connect and become a body. These shapes here, turn it up. Let's turn it up right for a change. These shapes here. And you put them together, squeeze them together, and you have a body. Add your muscles to it. As long as the shapes are, should I say, in proportion or curved right, it doesn't take long to make this into this, because it's just the muscles are not far off. And again, you have your cylinder, you have your cone, which the point where's my pencil? You take this, and this is just a cone that goes back. As I say, I chopped it off right here. Here's a cylinder. If I lifted it up, it would be like this to foreshorten. And the one thing about this is that you have to, if you round it off here, whatever roundness, I don't know if that's going to be the right word, you have in front, you have to have the same amount of roundness in the back. So if I do a glass, let's say this is a glass of water sitting on top of the table, and I tilt that glass over a little bit to where you can see the opening, then the bottom has to have that same amount of roundness as this. It can't be flat, and it can't be pointed, unless just, some kind of strange decorated glass, but it has to have that same amount of roundness as this does to make it work. Same way you do in any kind of cylinder that you may draw. So let's get on to this. Let me see if I think I've got it all for that. So it's only several shapes. It's just squares, circle, triangle that basically you use. And then you're going to, that square is going to become a cube or a rectangle, which is going to become a cube. Well, a long cube. This circle is going to stay the circle, or it might turn into an oval. And this is not going to change, except you just chop it off. It's just going to be more elongated. Or it can be a flat pyramid. But there's not a lot of shapes you do. Stop sign, which is, what is it, an octagon, which is still basically into the circle. But how many times you do an octagon? So once you master these shapes, and it won't take long if you're really drawing them, then drawing becomes super simple, super easy. All right, so let's work on this piece. And as I say, I'm going to ink all of these rough drawings. Let me show you real quick, just a couple. I sit around and I do some poses and like, okay, this will be good for later videos. So I'm going to you saw that one, I did that one already. I'm going to work on that one. So I'm going to later ink these and maybe add a little bit of dramatic background, and add them to my next drawing book whenever that comes around. So let's work on this. All right, as I say, the body is simple. There are three parts that make the actual body: the oval, the rectangle, and the triangle or upside down house. You can use a triangle, but if you use a triangle, you have to curve that over for junk. And then usually, well, you can hook the leg right here, but usually you have that bone, your hip bone. Let me show you real quick. Let me move my camera and show you real quick what I'm saying. All right, so yeah, that's your hip bone. Let me pull back a little bit. There is your hip bone. That is that oval that I'm talking about. The middle piece, the center piece. And it's kind of hard for me to do this because, yeah, I'm looking at my monitor. That centerpiece, this would be where your, up a little bit, or I can pull back. This would be where that rectangle would fit. And this is going to be your upside down house. Or you can use a square, but it's better because the thighs come up here. So, yeah. All right, so let's go back to the drawing table. Let me pull out a little bit, maybe. No, we'll go with that. We'll stay with that. All right, so as I say, three main pieces to make the body. And then you just connect them. You put this one here, you put that one there, and you put that one there. You have your body. Now, the hard part is just learning how they look when you move them or twist them. So with this oval, just like a circle, it's not going to change too much, but because it's an oval, it's going to go down. It's going to be almost like that cylinder going down, except when you lean the body forward, it's not going to be round. It's going to be more like this shape here because your shoulders. What are you doing? Put the head up here. Okay, your shoulders are going to be spread out like that only when you lean down. And then your chest is going to be here and your stomach is going to be there. So with something like this, I'm still going to do my oval. Then I'm going to determine how much I'm hiccuping. I never hiccup. I never hiccup. I don't know why I'm doing it. I'll determine how much this person is leaning or this character is leaning or this position is leaning. And then I will put that piece here. And then I will throw the head in there because I usually don't do the head until last. But when I do a leaning, I need to know how big the head is going to be or how far the chin is going to come down. So all I've done is oval, oval, and an oval. 3 ovals, simple shapes, simple shapes. Okay, so the chest is going to be here. How far is the chest going to be? That's just half an oval. If I continue, it's another oval. This guy's straight and this guy's leaning. So that's another thing you want to check. If you're trying to draw the exact thing, once you get that oval, you need to check how much lean that person, that drawing has or that position has. Let me get a little bit of lean. And then you have the chest coming here. And then you have just a little bit of the ab. And I know I've got it like really kind of messy here, and I'm going to get a pen in a second. Now, the one thing about this is kind of the big boy run here. This is like when I'm going to run right through a wall or run through a car or something. This is kind of like a Hulk run or more of the Rhino from Spider-Man. He runs, got the head down because he's not going to stop. This is a I'm not going to stop kind of run. So powerful run. Okay, so I got the head here, but I'm gonna redo the head again. So I said I was gonna do this, so let's do this. Got this. Got the chest. So I've got this part here. Let's pull this down a little bit. Down in here. So you're not gonna see too much of that when you lean forward. So this here is going to come and be tucked under here, depending on the angle of the turn or angle of the lean. You're just going to get this little, as I call it, the tuna can, which is this is all it is. It's just a short cylinder. And then I'm going to get the upside down house, which is going to come from the back. Where's my blue? I need to open a blue pencil because this is too short. Because the buttocks is going to be up in here. The buttocks is going to be way back here. And then the side is going to come down, not real low here, but it's going to be way up high to give you that lean. And then you do that upside down house. So you don't want to go all the way down and then all the way down because that makes him look like more he's standing versus leaning. And I'm doing some great gestures with my other hand, but you can't see it because the video is zoomed in. So you don't want to, you just know it's like this, and you get a little bit here and a little bit there. Okay, now the foreshortening part comes in with this back leg. So that's all it is. If this is, where's my purple one? If these were like two legs and one leg went back running and one leg went forward, let me zoom out a little bit so you can see this stuff. All right, so as I was saying, if these were two legs and one leg was running is back, not that far back, and one was running forward, not that forward. So let's say this is half the leg, this is the knee, and the other half of the leg bent because he's running. So it would be kind of like this, he's running. So one leg goes back, one leg goes forward. You have your foreshortening or your shortening. Foreshortening, say it, foreshortening. Because you're just drawing that, again, you're drawing that cone and you're chopping it off where you want it to be. So if this, we have this, and I know last video I was drawing really light, really light. So basically, you want to do that cone. Let's say, let's draw the whole cone. I'm gonna draw this cone. It's gonna come out like this. And then we're gonna do this other one. So you're seeing the inside, so you're gonna see the opening right there. And this one, you're not gonna see the inside. You're gonna see the inside from here. From this end. And then this one is going to go back. So if you have this leg coming forward, you have this other leg going going back from the side. Yeah, so this leg's coming forward, this leg's going back. So you're going to draw that cone going back. So you're going to see the inside going back. So you're going to open it. Let's do this in blue. You're going to open this one up and you're going to do that more. You're going to do more of a cone here. Because the arm, you have your delt, you have your rectangle or cone, and then you have your triangle here. Triangle or cone. Cylinder, cone, and that's the same thing with your legs. You have your rectangle, circle for the knee, and then you're going to have your cone for the bottom half of the leg, your calf and your ankle. So just remember that. It's the same thing. It's the same thing, except the circle is right here in the knee, and the circle is right there. And for the delt, some people will put it right here, but I don't. I don't. If you're used to that, you can do it. I just don't. I just connect them. That's all. Because that circle might be. There might be too much opening between this end and that end. So when I draw, I just put it like right there, just enough for an elbow to be put in, and then again chop it off where you want your hand to be at. And then the circle is for the delt. Same thing for the knee. But I do the circle for the knee because the knee is a little bigger. It's like that because there is some skin. There were some workings in between your thigh and your knee and your calf. So there are some workings in here. This is why I do the circle for the knee. All right, so back to foreshortening. You want to bring this back, and it depends on how far back you want to draw it. It determines how much of an opening you want to see. So if I have this flat, and I have this open just a little bit, and it's got to go shorter. This is a good exercise to do. Each one goes a little shorter. Make each one a little shorter, but they can stay the same height. So if I want to open it a little bit more. So each time I'm making this more of a circle and making it shorter. I can open this even more to make it even more rounder. And it's going to get rounder all the way until it becomes, can you see this? Am I going off camera? It becomes just a circle. That's it. So imagine your leg going back or coming forward. If you turn it up, you can have it going forward, I think. So as I say, it determines of how far it's going back, determines how much of an opening you see or how round it's going to be. I don't have a disc of any type in this room. I had a dime here. Can I use that pencil sharpener without making a mess? no, let's just stick with the dime. Sorry, I'm all over the place. All right, the dime is round, and see if I can do this with one hand. I'm not worried about focus. You know it's round. So the more you tilt it, the more of an oval it becomes, until it becomes more of an oval, until it becomes completely flat. So you just have to think about that. This is why I say master your shapes, master your shapes, master your shapes. So the thing with this leg is going back. This other leg is going to come up here, so you won't really see it. It's tucked behind here, and it depends on the position that you do. And then you might see some foot here. I know the foot is different here, but I'm just showing you where. So you have the red for the thigh, the blue for the calf, and the other foot that comes down here. Now the arm is the same way. I know this, I'm not showing you exactly. I'm not trying to draw this exact. I'm trying to show you your shapes that you use to do this. So of course, again, your delt is round, your delt right here. And it's good to know the shapes. I know several of the body parts. I don't know them all, but you know, it's good to just know some of them. A lot of professional artists don't know a lot of the shapes. They just draw. So your delts are going to be round. And this one is going to be round as well, but this fist is going to cover it, but still it's going to be round. And because of the angle, one is going to be higher than the other. So if you imagine weights like this on a scale of some type, and you tilt it up, one is going to be higher, one is going to be lower. So if I did this, this is going to be my shoulders, this is going to be my delts, this is going to be what's left of the front torso that you see. And then again, we have the tuna can, or the waist, and we have, it's got to go up here. Remember, this is round. Because it's round, I can't explain that right now. Because it's round, some of it's going back. So it's going back behind. So you're going to have some of that tuna can. Let's do that blue. All right, so like I say, because it's round, it's going back behind, and you're going to see about that much, depending on the lean. And then, of course, again, because that buttocks is going back, this is round too. So if I drew this, it's going to be shaped like this. Not much in the change of shape, okay? So the more you lean down, the more it's going to become an oval like that, except the buttocks. So if I'm looking straight down on it, it's going to be shaped like that. You're just going to have the butt cheeks there. So what was I doing? And then again, you have this, because it's going to go back behind it. And then so on and so on and infinitum. So we were doing the delts. Okay, just remember, whenever you tilt, the delts are one's gonna be higher, one's gonna be lower. So let's lower this one. And of course, because he's reaching, you're gonna get one shoulder that you couldn't see me touch. It's gonna pull more forward than this one. This one's gonna go back. And what I like to do, anytime I draw a position where I have a body tilting or the arm going back in space for shortening, I like to do just one piece, like a shoulder pad, like you do a shoulder pad of for football. Now this one I would have to come around in the front, and I'll do the circle because it's going to get covered up anyway. But if I'm going in the back, I'll just do like this one thing, because you have your collarbone here and you have your traps right here. And then that goes right into the delt. But I'll just make it round, try not to make it, 4 and 5 different pieces. Then I will have my bicep tricep, which is just the same thing, really shortened. He's going back, so I'm going to take it back, or we can do the tuna can again, but I'll bring it in because it does come in a little bit because it's going back in time. So it's going to be like this. This is why I don't start out with pins. And then I am going to do the other part of the arm, which is basically, it's going back just a little bit. which is just a cone. Like I say, it's going to go back just a little bit, so you have a little bit of opening here, and the same amount of turn or the same amount of circle is going to be the same amount of circle right there. And of course, this is going to be more of a cone. This one's going to be more of cylinder. And then you just add the muscle right here. I don't know what that muscle was called, but just curve it out a little bit and give this a little bit of downward curve. And then I guess I'll do a video on how to turn your shapes into muscles to give it more muscles. So this one is going to come up here, and I'm going to need this. Okay, now this is going to be covered by this, so you don't have to worry too much about that, but you just have to connect it to the delt. So let's just say this, and this is getting really, really messy, and I don't want to do it in, let's do it in a dark pencil. I don't want to do it in color, and because you have too many colors. So it's going to be like this, and since it's coming forward, you're going to see that opening like this. And since this one is coming forward as well, you're going to see that opening about, let's put it up here. It's opening right here, and it's going to go back. And remember, that's the cone. That cone is going to go back right there. And then you have your hand right here. And yeah, I know that's really close, but by moving a body part, you can keep this the same. By moving a body part, you can change the position. Like if you say, oh, I like that position, but I don't want people to think that I just drew this line by line. I'll show you what to do in a second. This is one of the things. Just shift it over a little bit. But for this video, I'm showing you guys foreshortening. And all it is just doing the cones. That's it. Shortening the length of the sides or the back of the cone or cylinder. So this is going to be like this. Put that on there. Here's my elbow. This is behind it, which goes into the delt. The delt is going to go here and here. And then I put my hand here. And here is my collarbone, which goes into the center of that delt. So let's just do a little fist here, just as like a little square for a fist. So the way I have it, his head is down, way down. Your chin usually will not go, and I was moving my chin, you didn't see it. Your chin usually will not go below that collarbone unless you are forcing it to. So if this guy's got this run, let's do his back, his center line for his back here. It's going to go way down, but you can't go too far down. So what I'll do is you make the head, the bigger the body, the smaller the head, because you can get your shoulders to get bigger and your back to get bigger and your arms to get bigger. You can never make your hands get bigger. You can never make your feet get bigger. You can never make your head get bigger. So just make that head a little smaller, and your character will become instantly bigger. So all those people that are drawing Hulk types, if I take this and I give him a smaller head, not too small, that will give him a bigger body, and then just make those shoulders huge. And then you have your Hulk type. It's just the head. The head will not, there's no exercise to make the head grow. Your skull will not grow. Your bones will not get any bigger. So we have that. You have the head down. Okay, so if you see this and say, oh, I like that, little things you can do is when the leg is out, it's more of a stomping kind of run, like Juggernaut or somebody like that. They run differently from Quicksilver or Flash. So the more that you have your leg in, and I pulled out 2 erasers. I pulled out a brand new one and my beat up one that just gave up the ghost on me. The more you pull your leg in, because it should be like, your heel should be like right below that. If you took a line, string, and tied around your neck and have a weight drop down, they call that a plumb line. It just shows like where the center of mass is or something like that. Don't quote me on that. And then you take this in. Let me bring this. And then you bring this in to the center of this line, where this should be right here on the side of your foot or hitting your ankle. You see automatically it makes him run a little faster. But when you got somebody like the Hulk, you're not going to have, a big fast, run for the Hulk. The Hulk he has a little stomping kind of run. But the more you bring something in, the quicker it's going to look, or the narrower it is, the faster it is. It's like having a big old fat box and you have a little thin ruler, whatever. And then you can bring this one in as well too. It's still going back, but you're bringing them in and then bringing that foot in as well. Instead of going out, bring it all in. Then it'll get it'll be an even faster run. So remember, this all of this is round. It's just like the snow. If I do a snowman, if I do the top of a snowman, you're looking down. If I did the top of a snowman, you're looking not straight down, but more of an angle. And then I did the other part of a snowman, this the middle part, and then I did the bottom of a snowman. Each piece goes behind the next piece. So that's the same thing with the body parts. The tuna can, I'll continue to call it the tuna can. So you have to go back and see my old videos, because this is I'm just so used to calling it the tuna can, just like I'm used to calling this the upside down house. And if you are a student that's been with me for a few years, you know what I'm saying. So we got this, we got the tuna can right here, which would be, because you have that one muscle, that one set of muscles. Wherever this comes up, it comes around, you'll have that first set of muscle right there, second set right here, third set in the waist, and then your last set goes down into the crotch. Just remember that. It kind of gives you a guideline. So if this invisibly came around, this is my first set of abs. And of course, because it's leaning, let's see if I can use my hand for that. These lines, the more I bring it in, the closer these lines will kind of get to one another. So, one is in front of the other. So you might not see the other set of abs. It's just, you may, depending on the angle. So then you have this, then you have this. And if you keep it close, the closer you bring this up, the more he's laying down. So you do want to have a little bit showing to where he is looking like he's running. Then you have that leg, and this is one of those pins that need to just go. And this comes in, and remember, we're going to keep it coming in at an angle. Going back, and there's your foot. So it has more of a faster run, but it doesn't look like he's big and bulky like this guy, because you have that stomp. Even this one comes in pretty much. It does come in, actually. But you have this one going out instead of it coming in. And you have that more of a, as I said, that big stomping run that somebody like the Hulk or the Rhinoceros or Juggernaut would have when he runs through a wall or runs through a tank or something like that. So, briefly thinking about what else I want to show you guys. Basically, I wanted to show you how to draw the position, foreshorten it for the student that asked me how to do that. And if you ask me, then I'll try to do a video on stuff. If you ask me, if it's reasonable. Like one's got like, show me how to draw Bruce Lee. That's not going to help anybody but you. So I'm trying to help everybody. So with the head, face, a lot of times people have crooked faces. So it's just easy to measure. You all know about the center line. You know where the eyes go. What I do is give some chin. I'll bring this in like this. Bring it in like this to the bottom. And that's going to be the size of my chin. You know, with the nose, you got this center line, middle of this and this is where your nose goes, and the middle of this and this is where your mouth goes. So wherever your mouth goes, that's where your jawbone. So I'll bring it down here and then curve it in here at the jawbone. I don't keep it straight down. I bring it in just a little bit and then curve at that jawbone right there. So by doing this, you know where your jaws or your cheeks suck in at. And then at this point here, I'll curve in and up. And then wherever my hairline is, I will curve like that. And of course, do my eyes Put your eyes in wherever you put your eyes in. Here's my nose. That way, whenever you turn your face, turn your head or bend your head down or turn it, you will always have your guideline. Let's put it down a little bit. You have your guideline here. Remember, this is as long as wide as my chin is going to be. My mouth is going to be right here. So I'm going to bring this up and then turn it right there. My eyes here, my eyes there, my nose is in the center. So as long as you have these guidelines, you're pretty close to drawing a straight face. And then your I think it was your temples, and I can say your hairline, and your hairline can stop here, or it can come down. If it's a female, you want to get hair, a little longer hairline, and your ears are right over your eyebrows to your nose. And then your neck, to make a stronger neck, just straight down like that. If you want to make a Hulk type of neck, you want to bring it out like that. If you're doing a female or a young average person, bring your neck in under the chin like that. All right, so 37, 35, that's enough knowledge for today. I will be dismissing class now. So if you learn anything, give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up so I can move up in the ranks on YouTube. All right, that's going to be it. Practice your shapes. That's the number one thing. Once you practice your shapes, there's 3 shapes that make the body. Go back 2 videos and it tells you about body and shapes and so forth. But I will incorporate it in every video until you all get it. All right, that's it. Drawing is easy when you have a good teacher. Give me a like. See you guys later.